Dear students, today we are going to have a lecture on how the movements are produced. That is, the physiology of movement control we are going to see. We all know the movements are produced by the muscle contraction. The muscles are responsible structure for movement. Okay. When it comes to the movement, it is the muscle contraction. It has to be performed by a nervous control. An impulse should come to the through nerve fiber. So there is a neuromuscular structure is responsible for movement. So nerve and muscle both should be there in order to produce a movement. The impulse should come through the nerve and it should come to the muscle, and then only the muscle can contract. Okay, how this whole physiology is taking place, that physiology we are going to see in detail. Coming to the movement, every movement is produced by the movements of basically two types: voluntary movement and involuntary movement. Voluntary movements are consciously controlled movement. We think consciously and willingly we do it. That is voluntary movement. Involuntary movements are reflex movements, which we don't have a conscious control. There will be a sensory stimulus and that will be converted into a movement stimulus in the spinal cord, and that will produce a movement which is called reflex action, reflex movement, which we have already seen in the form of stretch reflex. In the previous class we have seen it. Today we are going to talk about voluntary movement, and it is a very meticulous and fascinating control produced by our nervous system, various parts of our nervous system, and that is what we are going to see. How a voluntary movement is produced. The moment we think in the mind about a movement, producing a movement, from the cerebral cortex, a movement pattern will be framed. Actually, the moment we think, the initiation, the researcher says, the initiation takes place from the brainstem, and then the signal goes to the movement cerebral cortex. In the cerebral cortex, that is a large brain actually. In the cerebral cortex, there is a place called motor cortex. From there, the brain decides what movement we are going to produce. The pattern is framed. Actually, the pattern is actually selected from the previous memory. Previously, we might have done such activities. No, from that movement, it will pick up the most relevant pattern. Then that signal will come down to cerebellum. Cerebellum is a small brain. Cerebellum is a place where the movement is actually structured. The movement pattern comes actually, but according to the requirement for the particular situation, how the movement should be produced, that is decided by the cerebellum. Cerebellum receives this impulse from the cerebral cortex. Not only that, it also simultaneously receives information from our five senses, from the eyes through vision, from the ear by hearing, from nose by smelling, and also by taste, and also from the skin, all over the body, skin, touch sensation it receives. These are the five senses information. According to these senses also, it structures the movement very meticulously, very precisely. Not only that, it also receives information from various structures, the tendons, muscles, joint capsules, and every structure all over the body. They tells about what is the position of each and every joints, what is the movement already taking place in each and every joint. So the position sense and the movement sense are actually grabbed from these structures. All this information goes to and these informations are called kinesthetic sensation. Okay, all this information goes to the cerebellum. So cerebellum is a receiving station of all the sensory input, sensory information. That is the sensory information coming from the five senses, and sensory information coming from the kinesthetic structures from all over the body. And along with that, it also takes a motor impulse, motor sense coming from the cerebral cortex in the form of movement pattern. Now it decides how the movement, with the light of all this information, cerebellum decides how the movement should be produced. And that signal come down to the spinal cord. There is a cell called anterior horn cell, which is a motor cell, motor neuron. Okay, that information comes and the motor neuron goes to the muscle. Okay, the motor neuron, it supplies, whichever muscle it supplies, to that muscle it goes, and the information, the moment it goes to the muscle contracts. So that is how a voluntary movement is produced. And the information will not go to a particular muscle only. It will go to the group of muscle, because group of muscle should contract in order to produce the a movement. The flexors, extensors, abductors, adductors, rotators. So various groups of muscles will be there in every joint. Okay. Sometimes the flexor will act and the opponent muscle will relax. Sometimes extensor will act and the opponent muscle, which is flexor, will be relaxing. So there will be a minute coordination. So simultaneously, the movement, according to the movement pattern, these groups of muscle will be acting. That is how a movement will be produced. Coming to the muscle, every muscle will have a group of muscle will be supplied by a particular nerve cell. We call it neuron. Okay, a neuron and the group of muscles supplied by a particular neuron are called motor unit. So every muscle will have a group of motor unit, ranging from 3 to 50 motor unit will be there in every muscle. So a muscle which has got larger number of motor unit will eventually produce higher amount of contraction, stronger contraction can produce. For example, gluteus maximus has got larger number of motor units. So automatically it can produce larger power, larger strength it can produce while it is contracting. Okay, now coming to the movement, when we perform a voluntary movement, the movement pattern that is produced by the cerebral cortex, and when it is restructured, reorganized at the cerebellum, the mind, the cerebellum and cerebral cortex will decide how many motor units should be fired, should be stimulated by the stimulated in order to produce efficient and smooth movement. So according to that only, the motor unit will be stimulated. Not all the motor unit in a particular muscle will be stimulated for every movement. Suppose if you want a lighter movement, only few motor unit will be stimulated and a movement will be very minute, very light. A weak contraction will be taking place. Suppose if you want a stronger contraction, almost maximum number of motor unit in a muscle will be fired. So accordingly, the stronger contraction will be produced. Okay, this is what is the whole thing about the movement control. Okay, it is not only that, it is not always a firing impulse will be reaching the muscle when we do the movement. There will be a minute adjustment with the firing. That means the movement producing impulse and movement obstructing impulse, both will be coming. So movement producing impulse are called excitatory impulse in the nerve. It comes from the cerebellum to spinal cord and spinal cord to the motor unit. At the same time, sometimes the inhibitory impulse also will come. Inhibitory means the movement stopping or movement weakening impulses will be coming. It is for the safe. It is to structure, even further reorganize reshape the movement. For example, you are walking on a floor. Okay, when you walk, according to the pattern, for the walking pattern, whatever muscle has to work, those muscle will be getting the excitatory impulse. So so in order to perform the movement, the excitatory muscle will be contracting so that you are walking. Suppose suddenly you are seeing, through your vision you are seeing there is a sharp object on the floor. Suddenly what you do, you stop. How the stopping is taking place suddenly? It is because of the inhibitory impulse that is coming to the same muscle. How it is coming? It is coming from the vision. The vision impulse goes to the cerebellum and cerebellum says suddenly you stop. Either it will stop or it will make the muscle, it will ask you to take your leg longer step so that you can avoid the particular sharp object. So that also is a movement pattern. So accordingly, whatever muscle has to be stimulated extra further in order to take a long step, those muscles will be fired. Those muscles will get the excitatory impulse. This is what is called reshaping the movement. Okay, so it's a very fascinating thing. Every movement we perform in our daily activities, it's a high imaginative highly fascinating, highly meticulous, very precise movement reshaping thing is taking place in our cerebral cortex, cerebellum, and spinal cord, and also in the motor unit. Cerebellum plays a major role in the coordination of all these things, informations. Okay, that is why we call cerebellum is a coordination, the organ of coordination. When cerebellum becomes weak, the person also become weaker in his coordination of body. Okay, so I hope this physiological information about the movement control will be useful, because this physiology will be very often, very often, in the sense is the mostly, it plays a fundamental knowledge basis for various physiotherapy techniques we perform in manual and exercise therapy skills. This information is very much important. So with this, I would like to conclude this lecture. Please listen to this video very often, and also refer to various textbooks that talks about movement control, how the movement pattern is actually reshaped, how the voluntary movements are produced, this kind of things. Okay. After this, after watching this video, I will be asking few questions and try to answer those questions and send it to me. Make sure all your answers you take a printout when you type and send it to me. After that, you please take printout and keep filing them. So all those things will be audited, will be verified later to decide your internal marks once the college is reopened. Okay. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.